about the different distribution channels for content programs and building a subscriber base for whether it's tools and craft or anything in general. Like I'm just curious. You mentioned kind of not the failings, but social hasn't terribly proved to be super valuable of a channel, or at least it's some diminishing effect. SEO getting crowded. How do you think about distribution in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think that 80% of the success of any content that you create is the distribution, because if people are not seeing it or if it's not making its way to the right people, then it's kind of moot. And content can be very costly to produce from like a time and personnel perspective as well. So you really want to nail your distribution. And this is something that me and Nate Martins, who runs content at Notion and is incredible, we would talk all the time about, if we don't have a distribution mechanism for a type of content, should we be producing it at all? And making sure that if we were proposing a new type of editorial, that we had and distribution strategy baked in from the beginning. So he did an amazing job like documenting a lot of early development processes where distribution was the number one thing he was considering. For us, I mean, Notion got quite lucky on the social media channels, but I think that is an anomaly, and that you cannot depend on that, especially if you are like working in a relatively new B2B company that's still sort of like making its name for itself. I would invest in Twitter, for instance, if that were the case, but I wouldn't necessarily depend on it. I really think that distribution, I'm very bullish on building subscriber lists. So anything you can do to build like an email base. So always making it possible for people to subscribe, making sure that you are continuing to send your content to people who have just signed up for your product in general. So you want to make sure that when they sign up for the product, they're like checking the little box that says like, I agree to receive other messages from you, just to have all of your GDPR bases covered and all of that. But email distribution for first round and also for Notion ended up being sort of like a wonderful cyclical traffic driver that grows over time. And then driving any other efforts you have out there to drive traffic back to your blog hopefully yields more of those subscribers.